Hello everyone, and welcome back for the third science experiment of the day. This is the final science experiment before we do something a little bit different in the last video. And this experiment might remind you of something that you might have seen in the sky this week. I wonder what it might have been on Thursday evening when it was dark at night, and there might have been some bangs in the sky and some colours. What do you think it might have been? Yes, it was some fireworks. There were lots and lots of fireworks around here on Thursday night, weren't there? Even some on Wednesday night as well. A day early there were some fireworks. And so this final experiment that we're going to do today is a little bit like making the fireworks that we saw on Wednesday and Thursday evening in the sky. And so what you'll need for this final activity of the day is you'll need a dark piece of paper. If you've got black, that's really good, but if not, it could be just something dark, maybe like a dark blue or a dark green or a dark brown. They would all be fine. You will need some salt you might have in your cupboard, and it might be easier if you poured some into a cup like this. So some salt. You will need some PVA glue. Now I've got mine in a cup like this, and I'm going to paint it onto the paper with the earbuds that we used in the last experiment. But if you've got a squeezy bottle of glue, that would be even better for this experiment if you've got one of those at home. And then you will need your food colouring again, or if you've got some watercolour paints at home, that would work as well. But your food colouring with your pipette, or instead of the pipette, you might like to use a little paintbrush for this experiment. They will all work. So let's go through that checklist again. So you'll need your dark piece of paper. Check. You'll need some salt, perhaps in a cup. Check. You will need some PVA glue, perhaps in a bottle. Check. And you will need some food colouring or your watercolour paints. Check. Now, what we're going to do is, you see my dark piece of paper, which has become like the night sky, the dark night sky. I'm going to really carefully take the glue. If you've got a squeezy bottle, again, this will work a bit better. And I'm going to draw some fireworks onto the night sky like this. And the thicker the glue, the easier the next bit will be. So nice and thick. If you've got your squeezy bottle, that will be better. You're going to paint some fireworks onto your paper. You can be doing that now. I wonder what kind of fireworks you will make. Perhaps you'll make some Catherine wheels. Perhaps you'll make some tiny sparklers. I wonder what your kind of fireworks, your favourite kind of fireworks are. Are they rockets, maybe, in the sky? Perhaps you don't really like fireworks. Perhaps they're too noisy, or they make too much bright lights. Not everyone likes fireworks, but these ones are a little bit quieter, aren't they? They don't make quite so much noise. So keep going until you've got some fireworks onto your piece of paper on the night sky like this. Make sure the glue is nice and thick. The thicker, the better. This is where a squeezy bottle is really good if you've got one. So nice and thick, like this. And when you're happy that you've painted your fireworks onto the paper like this, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pop mine in a tray now to stop quite so much mess. If you've got a tray at home, that will be good. Or if not, perhaps put your paper onto a tablecloth or something that you don't mind getting messy. When you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your salt, which I've put into a cup, take your salt. You're going to sprinkle it all over the glue, like this. All over your fireworks. Cover them off. Cover them all up. Cover, cover, cover. Cover, cover, cover. Cover, cover, cover. Oh, they've all gone. Then what you're going to do is you're going to shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake like this. So now what you should have is your piece of paper, the night sky. You should have your fireworks painted on in glue, and you should have salt over the top. And now I wonder what we're going to do next. We're going to take our food colouring, or watercolour paints. Now I'm going to use my pipettes for this, but if you don't have a pipette, and you've got food colouring and a cup, like for the other 3 experiments, or you've got some watercolour paints, I suggest that you use a paintbrush, maybe one a little bit thinner than this, but a paintbrush rather than a teaspoon. A teaspoon probably won't work quite so well for this activity. So either using your pipette or using a paintbrush is probably better. What you're going to do, you're going to choose a colour, whatever colour you'd like your firework to be. You're just going to really carefully put just a few drops onto the firework. And what do you think happens? What happens is you drop it on. It spreads all the way up. Look, can you see it being absorbed by the salt, spreading all the way to the end? That's very clever, isn't it? All the way to the end. You don't need to put quite a lot of food colouring on, just a few drops. In fact, see if you can get a tiny drop, as small as you can possibly make it. How far will it spread? Can it go all the way to the end of your firework, do you think? Tiny drop. Let go all the way to the end. I wonder what your pictures will look like when they're finished. Perhaps we can share them back in the Zoom call. And as you watch the colours spreading to the end, spreading all the way across the fireworks, perhaps we can think about how in times of darkness we might be like light. We might be the light in other people's lives. I wonder how we might do that. Perhaps by being kind to them, or being helpful, or by giving them a smile, or doing something kind. And that's another way that we can help people to find light in the darkness. Remember to smile, to be kind. What beautiful pictures you've made. Looking forward to seeing them in the Zoom call. See you in a minute.